Now, just as you heard the ICC officially announcing that Bangladesh are out of the T20 World Cup, Scotland are the replacement, and you thought this entire saga was over. Well, not quite, because there's another twist and turn to this already thriller-like situation that we're witnessing in the world of cricket, and that is Pakistan that have dived in. It's not a new development. Pakistan, as you know, were already siding with Bangladesh, but this new statement by Mohsin Naqvi, the head of Pakistan Cricket Board, does add another twist to it. Before I give you the details and a fact check for Mr. Naqvi where he's wrong on a couple of occasions, let's first tell you what is it that Mr. Naqvi has said in his latest press conference. Two things he's talking about here. The first thing, he is saying that what has been done to Bangladesh is unfair. So if you could make an exception for India, where they were allowed a hybrid model because of security concerns, then why is it that the similar courtesy has not been extended to Bangladesh? Bangladesh is also an important member of the ICC. So these are double standards, essentially, what Mohsin Naqvi has said. That's point number one. Point number two, he said that that Pakistan is standing behind Bangladesh even now, and that if the government gives them a go-ahead, they're waiting for their Prime Minister who's out of the country, he comes back, and if the government gives PCB the go-ahead, then they are also ready to pull out of the T20 World Cup. And he's actually issued an open threat to the ICC saying now they can go look for a 22nd team, 21st team being Scotland that comes into the top 20 team tournament, and Pakistan will also pull out, so they can look for the 22nd team. So these are the two basic points that Mohsin Naqvi has said, and I'm surprised on both counts he is factually wrong. Okay, let's start with the first point where he says that, you know, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander, that means you've made an exception for India, why not make an exception for Bangladesh? Someone needs to tell him these are completely two different situations. You're not comparing apples to apples. You are comparing an apple to an orange. And that's not me saying that, you know, BCCI is a stronger board, they bring all the money, so why are you putting Bangladesh in the same fray as that? I'm not saying that at all. When I'm saying the comparison is unfair, you have to understand the core issue. India not wanting to come and play in Pakistan was not a new situation that developed because the Champions Trophy was happening in Pakistan. India have not been touring Pakistan, not having any bilateral ties with them for more than a decade. That stance has been there primarily because of security concerns. So when the Champions Trophy happened, if BCCI said it because the government advised them not to play, the ICC will also understand that. They take cognizance of the fact that this has been an ongoing situation. There have been multiple warlike situations between these two countries, and their stance have been such that they're not even engaging in bilateral ties. So there is a genuine threat concern or a threat perception. That's very different to where Bangladesh stand at the moment. Bangladesh have been very keen to play India. In fact, they were upset that India cancelled their bilateral tour that was to happen last year. That's cancelled. That got pushed to this year. They're even now very keen that India play that bilateral series which has gotten pushed to August this year. So that has never been the concern for Bangladesh, right? So it's not been a long-standing situation between Bangladesh and India. So that is one thing that you have to see. Secondly, when it came to the Champions Trophy, Bangladesh made it India made it very clear in advance, more than 2 months in advance, that listen, they cannot be touring Pakistan. So ICC also had enough time to come up with a contingency plan. In this case, Bangladesh has told them just 4 weeks before the tournament is to start. And then ICC also, and remember, when I say ICC, all members are included. They all came for voting. They have to see whether a concern is genuine or not. Bangladesh cannot lose sight of the fact at the moment, I beg your pardon, ICC cannot lose sight of the fact that Bangladesh has come up with this scenario right after Mustafizur was removed from the IPL. So it is clearly visible that it's a tit for tat situation. Now, how can a situation where a private league took a player out, I'm not even looking at the merits and demerit of that case, I'm not even looking at that. The fact that a private player or a private league put a player out, how can that then be extrapolated to an ICC-like scenario in a multilateral tournament? I give you an India-Pakistan example. Pakistani players are not playing in the IPL, but that does not, translate into bilateral, and they don't play bilateral, does not translate into ICC. At ICC level, they play. Only they're not happy to play or they are not ready to play in each other's venue. So I think this is also something that the ICC members would have taken note of, that Bangladesh never had this concern of their players having any security issue. Mustafizur was removed, who I might remind you again was not removed because of security concerns. India removed Mustafizur out not because of security concerns, but because there was a sentiment that here in India that didn't want Mustafizur there. So completely different cases. My point being completely different cases. So when Mr. Naqvi points a finger at ICC saying one standard for India, one for Bangladesh, he's not seen the merit of the case. Completely different. Now, to the second point where Mr. Naqvi is saying that if the government decides, we will, pull out of that tournament. My only question to Mr. Naqvi is, who is the government, sir? You are the government. You are not just the head of BCB. You are the interior minister. You're the home minister. Who decides when it comes to these major decisions? The home ministry. When India had an issue, when India could not tow Pakistan, the decision was taken by the home minister. The home ministry decides. Yes, the prime minister is always kept in the loop, but the decision is taken by the home ministry. Na? So, sir, you have to take the decision. And of course, you can keep the prime minister in loop even when he's out of the country. I think all of this put together points at only one thing, that to me, it does seem like that this is a bit of lip service, a bit of posturing from Pakistan's point of view. If that decision of pulling out had to be taken, Mr. Naqvi would have taken it. I think this is just letting Bangladesh know that, listen, we drove you down the garden path telling you we are with you, and now we are not leaving your side very soon. We are backing you till the end. So I think this is just a message to Bangladesh telling them, or in solidarity. But heart of heart, Mr. Naqvi knows that that decision cannot be taken because he needs to take that decision. So it's a bit of a smoke screen there. And secondly, even if people assume that it's not a smoke screen, can Pakistan take that decision? Well, I'll just point to one other thing. When it really came down to Pakistan themselves, they are smarting from the fact that India did not tow Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. That's a bigger hurt that Pakistan is carrying. But even when that happened, they didn't pull out of the tournament. They agreed for a reciprocal arrangement where they will also not come to India. But if for a situation where India refused to come to their country, that I'm sure hurt them even more than Bangladesh, being removed from the tournament. At that occasion, they didn't pull out. So I see a very minimal chance, in fact, a negligible chance of them pulling out for Bangladesh. That's the point that I'm trying to make. To me, it seems like an empty threat. And also the other, scenario or other crisis that Pakistan dealt with very recently was that in Asia Cup, they felt, they felt that, everything was being done against them. They threatened to pull out of that tournament. Remember that game versus UAE got delayed. On that occasion, what happened? Najam Sethi, Ramiz Raja sat Mr. Naqvi down and told them, you can't pull out. It's going to be a massive loss of income for you. It's not practical to pull out. And what did they decide at that time? Not to pull out. Now, for their own sake, they decided it was not in their right interest to pull out. Now, will they pull out for Bangladesh? You tell me. Doesn't seem plausible. I think it's all now to create a bit of a headline, maybe to show the world that they're standing by Bangladesh, maybe even to show India that, listen, you didn't come to our country for Champions Trophy, we'll keep troubling you, but that's all they can do. I don't think there's real threat of Pakistan pulling out. You let me know, what did you make of this recent statement from the PCB chief, Mohsin Naqvi, and whether this will translate into anything concrete. Would love to know your thoughts as well. Put it down in the comment, give us a like on the video if you're enjoying our content, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Nikhil Naz, signing off.